Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, on this Sunday evening, and in a few short days to go, ladies and gentlemen, Christmas Day will be here again. And more importantly, the new year is dawning. We are pretty much closing in on the final 10 days of the year. And today, ladies and gentlemen, is the winter solstice. And it's one of those occasions where just for whatever reason, I get very, very excited about, and I'm going to explain to you why. Now, over the course of previous videos I've done, I've made mention about you've got to start doing things now if you ever want to succeed. And I will continue to make mention of these videos because it could be on any particular day. It could happen today. It could happen tomorrow. The point I'm trying to get at is that at some point, it has to start somewhere, and you've got to make some sort of conscious decision in here to work out, if you will, where exactly do we begin. Now, of course, you can only really get started by means of planning and working out exactly what you want, and finally, how on earth are you going to start figure out ways to get there. Imagine your road to victory is literally a journey. As in, there is point A and there is point B. What you've got to work out is in your mind, constitutes being at point A. Is it exactly where you are at the moment? Or is it what you're going to be once you get things going? Because once you get things going, you could theoretically take that and use it to get to point B. But what is point B, in your opinion? Is it where you don't have to work again? Is it when you're retired? Is it when all of a sudden the work you do, it starts paying for itself? Is that where is that where point B is? But then, what if there's a point C? What if there's another path just above the horizon? It's like you think you've conquered one mountain. It must have been the site that Hannibal Barca must have saw when his troops had just crossed the Pyrenees. Then Hannibal said, no, those weren't the Alps. Those are the Alps. Actually, to be honest, that's a really good metaphor in many ways, is that, see, you've not conquered the Alps, you're just about to conquer the Pyrenees. Now, putting that metaphor aside for 1 second, this is just where it begins. And you know why I think it's not only going to begin, but it's going to continue, is because, well, the winter solstice marks the turning point in the winter months. Every day going forward is going to be a little bit lighter, which means spring will be on its way. Honestly, in 3 months' time, we will be entering spring, and that means we've got 3 whole months. Was it 12 weeks of winter? I reckon, serious 40, ladies and gentlemen. I think if I'm going to use myself as an example right here, I reckon in 12 weeks, I will go from nowhere to being at point A. I genuinely do think that is absolutely what it's going to take. 12 weeks. And I've got to think to my mind about everything I can fit into 12 weeks. Possibly getting to 300 subscribers. And can I just say, thank you so much for getting us to 200 subscribers, by the way. And it's certainly a great incentive. And to be honest, my teeth feel great for it. So I know I just had a pizza and all that before, so it'll give me plenty to wash my mouth out in a few minutes' time. Anyway, so we go from 200 to 300, maybe even to 1,000 in those 12 weeks. Who knows? It's entirely possible. And you know what? Actually, you know what? It's perfectly doable. But here's the thing: I'm not interested in getting to 1,000 subscribers just off of the back of, putting out mediocre content. I want to put out stuff out there that people might actually want to watch, if that makes sense. And aside from all that, I've got to contend with the fact that inside the next 12 weeks, I will have graduated with my degree, and I'll be a qualified railway track and service engineer. You never know, ladies and gentlemen, it could literally be the start from being almost flatlined financially to actually they will not need to kickstart my heart. I reckon even from a year from today, I would have my bona fide status as a railway engineer will start to, first of all, I will go from a blue hat to a white hat, and then they may even have to say, actually, you know what? We see great things in him, because he went from nothing. Now he owns at least 8 railway cards, and now we might even get to start to be in a position where we say, you know what? How about we ask him? We know he might be busy tonight, but would you like to come all the way down to York to do a graft for about 8 hours? For as far as we know, it might be literally 3 or 4 hours of actual work. It may be, maybe not. Who knows? Who knows what the future has in store? But literally all of that could happen in a year, and even in the next 12 weeks. After I graduate, I could already have possibly nearly 10 shifts under my belt. And what I want to do in those shifts is make every single effort to not only prove that I am absolutely the sort of man they want on the railways, but also the sort of man that anybody would want on the railways. You make yourself reliable. You make yourself desirable, is what I'm trying to say. And you know what? All of that can happen in 12 weeks. I absolutely believe that. But I also believe that, well, I've got to work for it. There's no doubt about that. And there's also no doubt in my mind that I've actually got quite a few scores to settle myself. But it's the sort of thing that, guess what? I'm going to make those sorts of things work to my advantage. It's the sort of thing that, to be honest, too many people take for granted. Guess what, guys? You turn every weakness into a strength. It builds character. It's part of your lore, your backstory, if you will. And guess what? I reckon in the next 12 weeks, it will start to become clear. And I personally cannot wait. So, until then, the lights are going to start getting brighter, ladies and gentlemen. The future is going to look better for all of us. So, best of luck. And we go from 0 to 100 in 12 weeks.